I'm Liz Jennings, and we're here with Brian Gibson, Professor of Supply Chain Management from Auburn University. Brian, you just had a great panel. You were up there with some big heavy hitters in the industry. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys discussed and what some of the big takeaways were?
Absolutely. We had a great session. So we talked about really four things. We talked about talent development. We talked about strategy. Big interesting topic, multi-channel, was on everybody's mind, and technology. Investment areas and what are they focusing on. So the big issue in talent is really how do we build that team? How do we do succession planning? How do we develop our young folks? And that's really what Mitch Stover from Target talked a lot about, was how do we build up that young talent base? And he's a real fan of, growing from within and developing your own talent. And Ron Link talked about some of the key issues with retaining people. So that was a really interesting discussion. They, like everyone else, both those organizations are really trying to figure out what is it that we do to make this multi-channel work. How do we integrate it all? How do we make it such that it's kind of seamless to the customer and we give them the level of service that they expect? So that's a critical issue. Real interesting topics that they both talked about in terms of strategy. The whole area of let's automate and let's use robotics, and not necessarily trying to replace people with technology, but the reality is a lot of people don't want to be working in DCs and warehouses today. So they talked a lot about those options and opportunities. Big investment, but a good payback period, 4 or 5 years, but after that there's some real benefits to be gained.
And so from what they were saying, do you think we're really at the beginning of the multi-channel and we're really going to see that evolve over, the next 5 or 10 years?
Oh, absolutely. If you talk to anybody about retail trends, some of the economists that talked yesterday and the CEO from Michael's stores that talked yesterday, the growth today is not in your regular stores. The growth is in the multi-channel. So that's really what people are projecting. If you're talking to Gartner or you're talking to any of the companies that do research in the area, they're talking about 15% growth. Or the growth being up to 15% of total retail is going to be out of those direct-to-consumer channels, whether it's online or mobile commerce or some other types of methods. So these guys are really saying, that hits a critical volume and mass that we have to understand and we have to service very effectively. And to be able to do that, you got to have great fulfillment systems, and that's what they're all here to really learn about.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on the overall logistics conference, why you keep coming back, and what your experience is with RILA.
Oh, absolutely. The thing I like most is you get a very tailored experience here with focus on the retail industry. You can go to a lot of conferences that talk about supply chain in general, but when you really want to get down to the application of supply chain strategies, it really is all about how does it fit and how does it work with my industry. And it's a great opportunity to engage and interact with people from your own industry, from the retail world, their suppliers, their product suppliers, their service suppliers, and they're working together to really understand what's going on. It's great to be part of that because it really is a more collaborative conference, and you see people that, as an outsider, say, oh, well, they're big competitors, they would never talk to each other. They're regularly engaging each other here, and it's really interesting to see what their collective challenges and issues are.